Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Trainer Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about what we know now that we wish we knew when we were younger, especially as teenagers and in high school. So, when I was about 15, 16 years old, I was super skinny and I hit a growth spurt and I went from 5'8" to 6'1", but I didn't gain any size. So, I was very skinny and I wanted to gain some muscle. And all I knew was bench press, bicep curls, and I needed to eat protein. So I was tracking the protein on everything I was eating, including pizza rolls, cereal, whatever else I could get my hands on, and seeing how much protein I could hit. And then I was benching 5 days a week and doing arms. And that was all I knew. And I wish I knew a lot more because my results in my life would be a whole lot different as far as, applying these things back when I was a teenager. So this message is really for if you are a current teenager, 14 to 18, freshman to senior in high school, maybe a college student, this is going to apply to you. Or if you are a parent that has a high schooler, really take note of this stuff because this is stuff that we wish we knew and we wish we had help with. That's why we're making the video. So I'll start with that. I'll let these guys start, and then we'll go into more things on what we wish we had known.
Yeah, I mean, a big thing for me with when I was in high school, like lifting weights, I would lift like a couple times a week for more of like a performance, which I think was really good as a foundation of starting off with not trying to look a certain way, but trying to just like get stronger. So I think that was good of like, wanting to just get stronger, have better performance in sports. It was a really good mindset going into it, but fueling my body was probably a biggest thing that I would have wanted to learn back then or would have known back then of like, hey, what you put into your body, like turns into whatever you're doing. So like if you want to get stronger, if you want to get more fit, then you should fuel your body appropriately. Make sure you eat enough, but not too much. Because I went through a phase where I just counted protein. And I was like, okay, 1 gram per pound of body weight, here we go. And I did not track calories at all. So it's probably eating a little bit more than I should have. And then I went the complete opposite direction of like, okay, just eat protein and vegetables. And that wasn't great because then I was just like low energy, crabby, and that's not good when you're a teenager either. And then trying to, juggle school and sports and everything with that. So just learning that like, hey, have your balanced meals, fuel your body, but still eat majority of like the healthier foods and just fuel your body the right way and not deprive yourself. I think a lot of girls especially fall into that category where they only eat like a couple times a day, but then they're also athletes, and you're not going to get your best performance if you're not fueling your body for that.
Yeah, I kind of was going to start with almost the same thing, and I do think that's a huge thing in like high school and college girls, but I was going to start by saying like I wish I knew that Pop-Tarts weren't a breakfast food because that's literally what I ate every single morning in high school. I'd bring it to my first hour because I wouldn't wake up early enough to eat breakfast. And I just remember like always just feeling sluggish and no amount of coffee helped, and this was only in high school. So that's just, I don't know, I just feel like that's super young to be like already feeling like that, like not having enough energy to get through the day. Yeah, I just wish I knew like what food really does for your body. Because I'm not saying I never eat Pop-Tarts anymore, but those are like a dessert now. Those are like an after workout treat or something like that. They're not what I start my day with. And I kind of did the same thing where in high school, I knew nothing about food. So I just ate whatever I wanted. And then when I got to college, gained the freshman 15, probably more, and just was super unhappy with myself. And still knew nothing about food. And so then I was like trying all these diets and ended up just being like super skinny and underweight. And just, again, that's not healthy either. So I just wish I knew like about food and what it does for your body and how to just have that moderation and not deprive yourself. I'll stop there.
I'll agree with that. I wish I knew like how to fuel the body and how beneficial it was, not just on a performance level and a fitness level, but also like an academic and all that stuff. Like you got to realize, all these kids go to school and they study their butts off, and they don't realize that what they eat and how they sleep and how much water they drink plays a dramatic role in their actual learning ability, their retention of information. Talking about athletes, like the fuel for your body is literally going to determine how you perform. I had no idea. I played hockey for 10 years, played a little bit of football, a little bit of basketball, and I had no idea that if I fueled my body better, I would have been a better athlete and performed better. Drinking water, I probably didn't drink enough water when I was an athlete and a kid. Definitely wish I would have known that. Like, hey, drink about half your body weight in ounces of water. And the thing is when you're a kid, like, and you just, hey, do this and this is why, typically you'll do it. We just weren't told the importance of it or to do it because nobody really knows about this stuff around here. And that's why we're making these videos too, is just to educate people, kids and adults. So hopefully we can avoid this stuff. On top of the food and the hydration, I wish I knew more about the importance of functional fitness. So I mentioned I just literally, me and my friends would bench press almost every day, do some arms, some shoulders, maybe a little bit of legs, but we didn't do any functional fitness, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically stuff where you're working multiple muscle groups that's going to develop your body as a whole. So think of like power cleans and deadlifts and back squats and snatches and anything where you're doing multiple muscles. Is really good for developing the body's overall fitness, especially for athletes. It's going to help with your strength, your speed, your power, your everything. So I just wish I knew more about that and could apply that to my training. And another big one that I probably was terrible at is sleep. So I would stay up fairly late, probably watching movies, fall asleep to the TV. TV would be on in the background. I always snoozed, never woke up on time. I was kind of like Caitlin, have a bowl of cereal before I went to school. And then first hour, every hour, my senior year, I would sleep because I would crash after having a giant bowl of sugar, which if you don't know, sugar or cereal, Pop-Tarts, all that stuff is literally just a bowl of sugar. It's literally no different than having a birthday cake for breakfast every day. So get rid of that crap. You need to feed your kids a good, healthy breakfast. I wish I knew that. And then just hydrating and then feeling my body throughout the day. So you go almost all day, from 7 a.m. until lunch is at noon. So you're 5 hours without anything really. Usually was starving. So I'd get 2 cookies with my lunch every day in high school, which at the time I was growing, so it didn't matter that much, but I still wish I would have known the effects of the processed foods and the sugary foods and that stuff. I wish I knew the benefits of having more complex carbs and more vegetables and higher, lean cut protein, things like that. So that's really what I wish I kind of knew. I think that's what I got for my main ones. I'll let you touch on it a little bit more. But
kind of to add on with like the workouts. For me, what I would recommend is I wish I would have started following like a training program earlier. I wish I would have paid the $30 a month, which for some reason back then, my thought process was, why would I pay $30 for that when I can write my own and it costs just as much as my gym membership, which the whole thought process was out the window because I wasn't really paying for anything because I was still living at home. But anyways, like $30 a month is nothing for an actual good program that's going to get you to your goals faster instead of just staying stagnant or maybe making some progress. But like if you're just doing the stuff that you like, or if you're just doing this, like just going from workout to workout of like, oh, what do I feel like doing today? Or not really training hard enough, you're not going to see the results that you want. And, I made so much quicker progress, so much faster progress when, one, I had training partners, and 2, when I followed an actual program, like when I started coming here and doing CrossFit programming and working out with other people. You're just going to make progress way faster. And it's way more rewarding to see that and to be able to see like, oh, wow, if I like actually do what the program says, I'm going to get to my goals. Versus if you make it yourself or you're just coming in doing whatever you want, you're going to be like, is this working? Is it not? You're just kind of questioning it the whole time if it's really worth your time or worth your effort and energy. But if you invest that little bit of money every month to get to your goals faster, and you're going to see results that you wouldn't really see if you just did it on your own. So that's one thing that I wish I would have started earlier, is just invest the money, have either a coach or find a program online. There's a lot of decent programs out there. Just make sure that they are a reputable source. They either are a trainer or, you know, they have some sort of a degree in exercise science.
Yeah, so another thing I was going to say is I wish I would have known that working out is important for things other than weight loss, because I think majority of the world, we think, oh, like if you're not overweight, then you don't work out. Or if you get to a point where you're unhappy with your weight, then you're trying to work out only to lose weight, which can just be so detrimental on your mental health. And I think that's also why I got to a point early college years where I was super underweight, because that's all I was still focused on, even when I wasn't overweight or trying to lose like the freshman 15. I was just going hard. I didn't do it for fun. I didn't do it for stress relief. I didn't do it for anything other than weight loss, which is just not fun in general. And I think once I got to a point where I realized like how much working out and lifting heavy weights was just a stress reliever. It was fun to get new PRs and work out with other people and stuff like that. Just made life so much better than just trying to work out for weight loss. Mm-hmm. And there's just so much that goes into what your weight is on the scale, and that would be a whole nother conversation. But another thing that I wish I knew, like also in those early days of when I first started working out, was when to take a step back and kind of like take time off. Like I used to work out hell or high water. No matter how sick I was, I would still like do a workout from home, even if it was like 15 minutes. I just thought like I could not miss a single day of working out, which again, that's like a kind of like a toxic relationship with working out. Like sometimes your body is just begging you for rest, and sometimes it's okay to take rest when you're sick or injured or whatever it is. Like just finding that balance. I just wish that I had found that balance sooner. But again, I think I had to go through all of that to realize like what working out is supposed to be used for. And then also, yeah, like Taylor said, like sleep. It's not cool to stay up all night and party all night and not get any sleep and party the next day. It's not cool. It's so bad. It'll kind of like combat all of your hard work. I've had clients who they're like, man, I just can't lose weight. I can't lose weight. And then all of a sudden they start getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night and change nothing else, and their weight starts to drop. Which again, it's not all about weight loss, but that's just one example that I've had recently of just how important sleep is and how much better you'll feel. And
yeah. So a couple of things. I'm glad you brought up like the importance of working out, not just for weight loss, because especially for high school kids and college kids, probably more than anyone, is when you work out, you are relieving stress, you're clearing your mind. Plus, when you work out, studies show that you are better able to retain information. So if you're studying your butt off, going to college, if you work out, you're going to learn faster and retain more information. One of my biggest pet peeves is when I talk to people that say, I am so busy with classes that I can't sleep or work out. And if what they don't realize is if they focused on sleep and working out, they would have to study probably half as hard or half as much, So like if you get a good workout in and then you study and you read or whatever it is, you're going to retain and learn the information so much easier. And if you get a really good night's sleep, I can remember my roommates, and I've had to do this a couple times, is we'd wait right until the test the next morning and they would stay up all night long, drinking energy drinks, studying, cramming as much information in without sleeping an hour, and then going and doing their test. And that's like the worst possible thing you could do ever. You would want to study and then get a good night's sleep, wake up, refresh your memory, study a little bit more, and then go and do it. Make sure you're hydrated, maybe get a quick workout in, move your body, like get your blood pumping, and you're going to have way better tests. You're going to learn so much more. So I just wanted to throw that out there because that was a huge thing that I wish I would have known when I was in school and in college. Another thing that I want to really just point out to parents, and something that is kind of frustrating for me when we talk to a lot of clients, one of the biggest excuses that our clients have for not wanting to do a nutrition plan or anything like that is like, oh, I can't because my kids won't eat it, or my kids don't like that kind of stuff. I'm not a parent, but my parents when I was growing up, they controlled, hey, you need to go to bed at this time. You have to go to school. Like, you don't have a choice. You got to do it. You got to get dressed. You have to brush your teeth in the morning. You should probably take a shower every day. Like, you were told what to do for all these things except for what you put in your body, which, why is that not more important?
Yeah.
Blows my mind. You should be in control of what your kid puts in their body, at least until they graduate. And a lot of it's because, well, they, throw a fit over it, or they don't want to have it. I can promise you, as a teenage kid, they're going to throw a fit maybe once or twice, and you're going to get hungry enough to where you're going to eat anything. It's like, just get through like the first day or something. And as a kid, like, you're going to eat eventually, whatever's put in front of your plate. And I'm very grateful that my mom, she always cooked really good dinners. So I'm very grateful for having good nutrition for dinner my whole childhood. I'm not grateful that she bought Little Debbie snacks my whole childhood. So as a parent, if you want your kids to be grateful when they're older, start doing these things now that it's going to benefit them when they get older. I can tell you, no kid is going to get to be 30 years old and be like, I am so grateful that we got pizza and ice cream every single Saturday and Friday, and I had Little Debbie's every day of my life. Nobody's ever going to say that, but they are grateful for the things that they were taught that are beneficial. Like, for example, my dad, like, teaching us the benefits of hard work and learning and doing things on your own to achieve it. So that correlated directly into my career because I knew I had to work hard to achieve anything I wanted. You can't just have stuff handed to you, for example. So that is something else I'm grateful for. So going back with the food, the nutrition, and the sleep, I think parents should take a little bit more initiative on learning this stuff their own and then applying it to their kids and just explaining that it's in their best interest and the benefits of it. What we just explained for the last 20 minutes, the benefits of learning faster, retaining more information, performing better, having more mental focus, energy. Like, if they're athletes, you can explain the benefits directly to them. If they're not athletes, but maybe they care a lot about their schoolwork and their education, explain the benefits to them about how it's going to help their brain, their memory. Like, all these things that we wish we knew, you have the ability to teach your kids right now that's going to benefit them for the rest of their life. So I just wanted to add that in because it's one of my biggest pet peeves is when parents can't do a program because their kids won't eat the food, or all they eat is this or that and it's unhealthy. It's like, we need to be in control of what they're having. I mean, you control every other aspect of their life up until they're 18 or when they become an adult, and their food, what they put in their body, should definitely be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think parents definitely have a huge influence on kids, especially with whatever habits the parent has. That environment usually translates to the children. So if it is like snacking on unhealthy foods, the kids will most likely be snacking on unhealthy foods. It's very rare to see a kid grow up in an environment like that and eat super healthy or not like junk food or not sit on the couch and watch TV for 5 hours a day, if that's what their normal environment is. So I like that you kind of tied in the parents and like, what do you want your child to look like or be grateful for when they're 30, when they are kind of in your shoes and like, oh, I'm really glad that my parents made me do these things because it set me up for success later in life. And kind of on that, one thing that I wish that I did when I was younger is getting up earlier, focusing on like bettering yourself and your passions. So get up and get stuff done ahead of everyone else. You're going to be way ahead of anyone else your age. Like, we see there's a couple of high schoolers that'll get up and come and work out at 5 a.m. before school. And it's like, I never would have done that in high school, but good for you. Like, you are going to be so far ahead of all the kids your age. And it's so cool to see. And just knowing that they're almost like a different breed, like they're a level up. Mm-hmm. And I wish that I would have done that, or like just worked on like what I want to get better at, worked on whatever passions that I had, like sports and everything. Like, I could have gone up like earlier and worked out and really focused on getting fitter, and that would have benefited me. But no, I want to sleep in because I don't know, I just want to sleep in and stay up till 11 and then sleep in till 7, which obviously sleep's important, but the earlier you get up, the quicker you're going to fall asleep at night. So if I was getting up at 6 a.m. instead of 7, I probably would have been in bed and asleep by 9:30 instead. And that also keeps you out of trouble. Also, another one is don't take advice from just anyone. Only take advice from people that you want to be like. So everyone's going to tell you advice at this age of like, you should do this or don't do this, or just trying to give you direction in your life. But unless you want to live the life of that person giving the advice, don't listen to it. And it's fine. You don't have to listen to everyone's advice, which it's going to pull you in a lot of different directions if you do. And then you come out of it being like, what do I actually want to do? Like, take some time to actually reflect and think about, what do I actually want to do? What do I want my life to look like? Because I think a lot of kids, they go down the college route, they go down whatever route they're going to, and it's just because of either what society has told them is what you need to do, or what their parents have told them that's what you need to do to be successful. But to be completely honest, things have been changing so much where you don't have to go to college to be successful. But that's what the school pushes them towards. And, it's fine and good. You go to college, get an education. It's 100% beneficial, but you don't have to. That's not like the only option for you to do. If you work on yourself and you still get educated and you learn skills, that's what's going to get you ahead. So just take advice from the people you want to be like. That's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah. One last thing is, I wish, like in high school especially, I think that I wasn't afraid of failing. I think that's a lot of times, like, I would try to go to the gym and work out, but if I didn't know how to do something, or I got told I was doing something wrong, I was like, oh, well, I quit, because this is like, you just get embarrassed. I don't know if it's a girl thing or just a Caitlin thing, but I feel like that happens a lot, where people feel like they failed even though they haven't, and then they just give up. And so I wish I would have known, like, failure is just part of the journey. Like, you have to fail to learn something, whether it's with nutrition or working out or literally just life in general. So I just wish that I wouldn't have been afraid of failing, and would have instead, like, just taken those lessons and kept going, instead of waiting so long to finally not care what people think and do it.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up, actually, because I can think back to like so many things that I wanted to do and be able to do as a kid that I was like afraid to try. There is a lot of things that I did do and was able to do, but there were a lot of circumstances where it was like kind of afraid to try or do my best at it. So I wish I would have tried more, and I wish I would have realized, like, in the moment when you're the oldest you've been, like, even though we were really, really young, it's like, oh, I don't want to like mess up anything, but like now thinking back, I was like 14, like I should have tried more things and like failed more often and learned and grew. Like, I wish I would have tried this, I would have tried that. So yeah, definitely don't be afraid to try, and definitely don't be afraid to fail, because it's better to try and fail than not try at all. And eventually, as long as you do not quit, you cannot fail.
Yes, that's right.
So as long as you stick with it, you can win and you will succeed. It's only if you give up, you will not succeed. So that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. I think that's it.
Yep.
Cool. That wraps it up. So yeah, whether you are a kid, in high school, college student, or if you're a parent of a high school or college student, try to relay some of this information, or really think about your day-to-day actions and your habits, and try to figure out what could you improve upon with, maybe it's your nutrition, your sleep, your water intake, your workouts. Hopefully some of this resonated with you, because this is literally from 3 people that are in our 20s. We wish we knew these things when we were younger, and that's why we're making this video. We want to try to help people just improve their overall quality of life from a younger age. I don't have any regrets. It's not like I regret anything from my childhood. It's made me into who I am, but we're just trying to give ammo to people so that they get a head start on what we already have accomplished and what we already know. We are just trying to give you that little head start so that by the time you are our age, you are ahead of the game. You know exactly what you need to be doing to be your best self. So that's kind of the goal with it. So hopefully this helps. Make sure you like and subscribe, watch all of our other videos, and stay healthy. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.